Hello everyone. Today I'll explain how we can secure access to Linux using IP tables. This is a Linux firewall that runs in the back end. So let me open the terminal. Okay. I prefer this over double click for full zoom. First, let's switch to the root. Provide your password. We are inside the root. Let me just zoom in for clarity. First, let's check the status of the service SSHD. Check the status of the HHD service. As you know, SSH, short for secure shell, it allows a user to remotely log in to another machine through a secure connection. Why? You can execute a remote command on that machine. You can also transfer files using secure copy from one machine to another machine. So if we check the status of the SSH, again, D mean this service run in the background. It's a daemon. As you see, the active, no, it's inactive, dead. So we can start the service. Then if you check the status again, as you see, it's now active, it is running. Let me clear my screen. Second, I want to know the IP address of my machine. I can use ifconfig command. As you see, this is the loopback. The IP address always 127.0.0.1. Here, for example, you can run a web server. You can run over the loopback to test it. This is the main interface card. This is the IP address. So I will just select, right-click, copy. Also, you can use the command IP address. As you see, the same. This is the interface, and this is your IP address. So let me clear my screen. Now let's try to connect to the SSH. Just type SSH, right-click, paste, and your IP address. So I am connecting to myself. This could be the IP address of a remote server. Type your password. Permission denied. It didn't say incorrect password. It says permission denied. If you type the password again, you will get the same error message. Why? As you know, the root is an account. It's not an actual user. So root is not allowed to connect to the SSH. Press Control and C. Control and C to exit. Now you can exit from the root. Then you can connect to the SSH. Just type SSH, paste your IP address, provide the password. As you see, last login. This confirm that I logged in to this IP address. If this IP address for a remote machine, now I am logged in, you can execute any command on that remote machine. You can create a file, whatever you want. You can delete files, you can restart that machine. Okay, so now we were able to connect to my machine using SSH. Let me exit. As you see, it gives you logout and the connection to this IP address is closed. This confirms there was a connection to this IP address. Okay, let me clear my screen. Now let me switch back to the root. And let's now check the status of the FTP service, which is called VSF-TPD, very secure FTP. And this one run in the daemon. If you check the status, as you see, it's inactive, dead. If you start this FTP service, then you check the status again. As you see, it's now active, it is running. Again, if you try to connect to the FTP from the root, it gives you permission error. So it's better to exit from the root, go to your normal account, then type FTP, then open, and let me connect to myself. So paste your IP address. I will connect using this username. Provide your password. As you see, we get this message, login successful, message number 230. This confirm you logged in to the FTP. Again, you can connect to a remote machine if you know the IP address, a username and password on the remote machine. Here, you can upload a file from the local machine to the remote machine, or you can download using Git. You can also change the directory on the remote machine, or LCD, change the directory on the local machine. I already record another video. I will just exit. As you see, goodbye, and the message number 221. So now the connection to the FTP is closed. Now, what we did, I just started FTP service and SSH service, and I test both. Now, the most important part, let me use the iptables, which is the firewall utility inside Linux, to block the access to FTP and SSH as an example. So let me switch to the root. Usually, before you do any changes, it's better to take a backup copy of your iptables. It contains rules, so we can use this command, save, for example, to a backup file .back. So now I saved a copy of my firewall rules into this file. Later, you can recover your backup if you want. This is the file. And usually the first thing to do is to list the current rules. So iptables-l list all rules. But I don't want to see all rules. I want, for example, to use concatenation, and I will use the command grep policy. This command alone lists all firewall rules. But from the result, I want only to list the rules that have the word policy. So now we are concatenating two commands together. The output from one command go as input to this command. As you see, for the input, forward, and output chain, what is the default policy? Accept. This is the worst policy you can do. Why? If you have a traffic, input, forward, or output doesn't match a rule, in this case, you are accepting this traffic. This is a big vulnerability in your configuration. This should be drop, not accept. Okay, so now let me delete all the rules. We can use this command, flush the iptables. Now we removed all rules since I don't know what are the default rules. Then manually I can add a rule. iptables -a, a mean append or add a new rule. I will add a new rule for any input traffic coming through protocol TCP, coming through port 22. Why port 22? This port 22 is related to SSH traffic. And if you have a match, which means you have input traffic coming through TCP protocol through port 22, what will be your decision? I will drop that traffic. So now we add a rule. Let's check exit from the root, then try to connect using SSH to your IP address. As you see, it never asks you for a password, which means the firewall inside Linux block any incoming traffic through port 22 for SSH. So press Ctrl and C to exit. Similar, we can add two rules for FTP. So let me use sudo since I am not in the root. iptables. Let's add or append a new rule related to input traffic through TCP protocol for the port. If we speak about FTP, we have to block two ports, 20 and 21. One port is used. Provide your password. One port is used to transfer control information. The other port is used to transfer FTP data. So here we add two rules to block any input traffic to my FTP server through port 20 and 21. Let's try to connect to FTP. FTP, then open and paste your IP address. As you see, it never asks you for login credentials. The firewall block any incoming traffic to your FTP. Press Ctrl and C, then exit. Now, if you want to delete the three rules, instead of add, you can delete the same rule for port 20, 21, and for port 22. This is for SSH. So now I deleted the three rules, as you see here, -D. Now, if you want to check again SSH, right-click your, as you see, it asks you for password. Before, it didn't even ask you for a password. Exit. Same, you can connect to the FTP, open, paste your IP address, provide your password. As you see, login successful. So here we demonstrated how we can add firewall rules to block any incoming traffic to SSH and FTP. Then we deleted the rules. That's it for today.